Be among the people that shall fulfill their dreams without taking too long. Who say that life starts at 40? Okay, I've heard that very many times, but there are things you can do, and God can just decide to favor you. Try this one. Go to your M-Pesa. Do this. Go to Lipa na M-Pesa. Just click. Then, pay bill number put 777-000. Account number put D.TV in caps. Don't forget. Now, amount put 50 bob only. Then send. Only that. You'll be surprised tomorrow 10 a.m. You're getting your phone is ringing and you are among the lucky winners. Also feeling, oh my God. I hope you are seeing yourself in that. We are just from the gap between where you are and where you would wish to be. It's only one thing, your mindset. If only you can change your mindset and tell yourself, you know what? This thing, I'm going to run it. I'm going to do it. Very many times, the reason as to why many people are not able to get into where they would like to be, or get into where they were destined to be, it's because of one thing: fear of unknown. Now, I've just talked of lotto, a good deal, a very good deal that only needs 50 bob from you, but someone has fear of unknown. What if I try and this one will not work? I think I'm not among them that are planned to be lucky winners. You know, there are those people who have assumptions in their mind. I think I'm not the one. Oh my God. I just hope that you can just try change your mindset today and try to do it, because this might be the time that God wants to raise you, that God wants to announce you. You never know. You never know. Do you know, just a change of mind, that you used to say, I'm not beautiful. Changing your mind to saying, I am beautiful. You will start to see that beauty. The reason as to why you don't see that beauty, it's because your confessions are, I'm not able, okay, I'm not sufficient enough. I think this was not for me. You know, my family, this is how we were raised up. This is how things were. We were not able to have good shoes when we were going to primary, secondary school followed. And this is where I am, and still life is hard on me. Now, what shall I do? This is your question. Got you covered. Now, the Coins Talk Show is not just a show. It's a show that is giving you hope. It's a show that is empowering you and telling you, first of all, please come out of that mindset of, I cannot be able to do this. I think I'm not good enough. I think my height doesn't fit me. I think, you know, at least those people who can work in KDF, maybe they are those long, tall people. And you know, my height, you know, those people who can get into an air hostess business, you know, they require certain height, certain figure, certain beauty. But when I look at myself, oh my God, I don't see all these things. So, you are back at home. All that you live with, they went to workplaces, and you're here, you're asking yourself, now, what is even my work here on earth? These are thoughts that you have. Got you covered. Because, first of all, you need to know that you are good enough. You need to know that your presence on earth counts. You need to know whether you feel as if you're making a difference on the earth or not. You are making it. Because maybe you just responded a phone call to a person, and you told that person, by the way, this is what you do for me, and I really appreciate your effort. And that person that you told that, the person that you told that you appreciate their effort, this person was at the verge of giving up. Do you know that you made a whole difference, and you created an atmosphere of change to this one person, and now the person is feeling of, I was feeling I'm not good enough, but since a certain person appreciated my effort, I think this give me reasons to continue existing, continue living, continue doing charity work. Yeah. It starts from knowing that I am beautiful enough, I can do it, and I was also created to do it. I was also created to be that thing. I can fit this. Many are times that we convince ourselves, we give assumptions that, you know what, our family don't have connection. How can you get a government job since you don't have anyone there? Be among them. Be among that people, that person who will believe enough that, you know what, I am good enough, and in as much as I did diploma, in as much as I've not gone to school, in as much as I didn't get to finish Form 4, there is something I can do. And this thing will push me to the front. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. It's only take believing in yourself, being confident, and avoiding all these things that may come so that you may feel insecure. You know, I'm not tall enough. I'm not this. I'm not this. Enough. Something good is coming up. We are going to a very short commercial break. But before we go, I want to brief you on what you should expect after we come back. I want to talk about insecurity. What is insecurity? How do you know that you are insecure? Many people don't understand insecurity. So they think that I just tell myself I'm not tall enough. That is one thing insecurity does. That is the language of insecurity. But we shall get to know more about this. And that shall be right after we get back, after the break. Now, this is Daesak TV, the Queen's Talk Show, and you are with me, Veronica Kigomo. Please don't go anywhere, and kindly, the number that is running below your screen, use it to text us and to comment. Tell us where you're watching us from, and have you been into this? Are you among these people that you're feeling as if I'm not good enough? Yeah, kindly text us using the number that is below your screen, and also follow us on our social media handles, that is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Kindly hashtag Daesak TV, the Queen's Talk Show. You're with me, Veronica Gigomo. We shall be right back after a very short commercial break. Keep it here. You're with me, Veronica Kigomo, and just as I've told you, I'm not alone in the studio, but we have a guest who will be explaining something to do with insecurity. Now, before we go into that, I want to remind you of something. That suppose your birthday is coming up, and you want something, or you want to be in a position that you can celebrate the festive season that are awaiting us coming month. Now, we got you covered. Help us celebrate 7 years of changing lives by changing yours with 700,000 Kenya shillings guaranteed bonus in each draw. Now, there is 2,400,000 to be won at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Shall be a draw, and another guaranteed 700,000 to 7 people. Now, the only thing you need is 50 bob. Go to your M-Pesa, Lipa na M-Pesa, click. Then, after doing that, put this pay bill 777-000 and account number put D.TV in caps. Don't forget that. And the amount put only 50 bob shillings only. Yeah, that is the only thing you need to be the lucky winner of 2,400,000, or else get a bonus of 700,000. Why don't you try it? Why don't you try your luck? Now, let's go back to the Queen's Talk Show. And in the studio, I have a very amazing woman, a very beautiful woman, and I want to give this chance to you. First of all, welcome.
Thank you so much once again, Veronica. Thank you, viewers of Daesak TV, Queen's Talk Show in particular. My name is Julandiba. I know now I'm not new to you. We were here yesterday, Veronica, and we had a very good, wonderful time of enlightening one another.
Wow, wow.
Yes.
That's true. And you look good.
Thank you.
Before we continue.
God is good.
Yeah. I always encourage women that they are able to do it.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and everyone is beautiful.
Oh, of course.
He is wonderfully created and wonderfully made.
Yes, because there is nobody who looks like you in the whole of the world. Even your twin sibling doesn't look like you. You have to recognize that you are special. You're unique, fearfully and wonderfully made. And you should be proud of yourself, because
Wow.
you can never be anybody else except yourself.
I like that.
Yes.
Because you cannot be like anyone else except
And you
yourself.
can
So
never
are the best you.
duplicate. Yeah, you will never be a duplicate of another person. No matter how much you try to imitate them, you can never be them.
Wow.
So always be yourself and be proud of yourself.
Before you
Yes.
came, we had this powerful discussion of there are people who think they're not good enough.
Yes.
Insecurity. And so they are kind of thinking, you know, I can't work in this because I'm not tall enough. I feel this about myself. And you are here because I would like you to explain to us, what is this insecurity?
Insecurity is something that, may I say that it happens naturally within us, especially when you come to the world. And as you grow up, you realize that there's so much diversity in the world. You realize there are people who don't look like you. There are people who are different in the way they look. Maybe they are more beautiful than you are. Maybe they are wealthier than you are. They come from better families than your family. And as you compare and contrast yourself with them, you start to see yourself as less advantaged, or you are disadvantaged. You start looking down upon yourself. And so you become insecure about who you are, about your capabilities. And when you live like that for long, you lose something in you. You lose self-esteem. You lose that belief that you are good enough. You are just like everybody else in the world.
Wow.
Yes.
I love the fact that you've explained something to do with beauty. And in the current world that we're living in, or the season that has been there, and the one that we are in today, many people have been feeling the same of, I'm not beautiful enough. And now they are trying to even reach, or else they think I need hips and I don't have, so I need to be injected maybe and
Yes,
do
we are
some
living
sort
in
of
those
thing.
times. Yes,
Can
I
you
agree with
explain
you.
to us? You told us that everyone is beautiful.
Yes, someone said long time ago that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but women find that very hard to believe. They don't believe beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, because we believe that beauty has a standard. You have to look a particular way, dress in a particular way, maybe even have a certain color of your skin for you to be beautiful. And I want to tell you, all these are in the mindset. They're not in reality. How you perceive yourself is what you project to the outside world. For example, if I see that you have no confidence in yourself, no matter how beautiful you may be, you are not beautiful enough, because there's something that's holding you back.
Sure.
You are not believing in yourself. But when you believe that you are beautiful enough, when you know who you are, when you know how unique you are, and when you learn to appreciate who you are just as you are, you start working on yourself. You start working on your self-esteem. And you do not compare yourself to anybody else. It's a journey there. It doesn't come easy, Veronica, when you realize that maybe there's a family that is better than yours out there in the village or in the urban centers. When you realize maybe your schoolmate or your colleague comes from a better estate than where you come from. And that's the problem we usually have when you socialize in the society. We are having a lot of this conflict whereby we compare ourselves all the time with others. And when we compare ourselves constantly, we lose out on life. We fail to recognize who we are. We forget to have an identity, to work on our own identity, and we forget to give our lives meaning as we check out on others, and we start to compare ourselves with those other people. But once you realize that, number one, you'll never be anybody else no matter how much you try. For instance, you find that most young people try to dress even to look like the musicians they see on the television and elsewhere. But imagine you'll never be that person, no matter how much you try to copy them.
Level of insecurity?
It is still another level of insecurity whereby you forget that you can also start, you can be the trendsetter rather than just a follower of trends. Are you getting? I can start on something new and people can also emulate me. Kwani, am I not I'm also a person? And I am good enough. But when you don't know that, you try to become what you are not by copying other people.
Allow me cut you short. There are people who suffer from the same, but they don't know. Maybe you can elaborate for us some of the signs that can show that you truly don't appreciate who you are.
Exactly.
And these are kind of insecurity things.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. How are we able to realize or to notice that this person has a low self-esteem because it was started?
First and foremost, you start to notice someone has low self-esteem when they cannot live with themselves. For example, You don't like the shape of your body. You don't like how you look like, because maybe the standard of beauty and attractiveness that you want, you don't feel like you have it. And so you start doing things, for example, enhancing your looks. You know that the artificial hips nowadays are in the market, and you get obsessed with these things. You can see someone who is insecure by the things they do. There's a woman out there who cannot step out of the house without makeup, because they don't believe they are good enough without makeup. That's another sign of insecurity. There's also the issue of lack of comparing. Let me say this, sorry to say this, that women portray a lot of jealousy, especially when they come together and they see one lady who looks maybe like she has more than they have. And you can be able to pick up those traits in people, that this person is usually the jealous type. Why? Because they feel so insecure about themselves. So you can see a lot of symptoms out there. People are obsessed with piercing. You know, sometimes you do one piercing and then you feel that it's still not good enough. You go for another. You still go for another. Then you do a tattoo, you realize, oh, I can still have another one. I still want to look more beautiful before you know it. You are full of tattoos.
Is beauty within or without?
Beauty is within, from within. But as I have told you, it is very hard for anybody to believe that beauty is within. Until you discover who you are, and until you know that your uniqueness lies within you, and until you start working on yourself to actualize the true identity of who you are. Someone said that this body is like an abode, that your real self occupies. It's like a house that's housing you. Once you start to differentiate between yourself and your body, you start giving life to yourself from within. You start feeling your life from within. That's the time you discover that you can do something more with your life other than just think about your hair, just think about your shoes, just think about how people think of you. And once you start working on yourself, you get another kind of an identity that is stronger and better than just what people identify with from the outside. That's why we have very successful women who didn't plait their hair. Actually, they cut their hair short. We have someone like the late Professor Wangari Maathai. They are not obsessed with wigs, with whatever handbags we have out there, but they left a mark in the society. What am I talking about? I'm talking about valuing the inner person more than the outside person, and at the same time not neglecting the outside person, because you need yourself you need to be in good health. You need to look good as you do the business of life. But then you have to know that you are more concrete from within, but not from outside. Yes.
Getting from personal insecurity to professional insecurity. Those people who've been working for long and they feel like, you know, it's kind of not good enough for promotion. What can you tell such a person?
I'd like to tell them that anybody is good for whatever other level they think they can go to, as long as they believe in themselves. If you've been in that profession for so long and you don't see any progress, call yourself to a small meeting and ask yourself why. Do you need maybe to go back to class and upgrade your studies for you to be able to take another position in the same company or elsewhere? Or is it time to leave and go start a new venture somewhere else? Sometimes we serve in a certain particular area for some time and we feel like we have burned our energy on that particular field or in that particular area. That's why you find people resigning from their jobs and getting into business or into mentorship or into anything else other than what they've been doing. That's still another level of self-discovery, by the way. It is still another way of giving your life an identity. You know, our capabilities are not limited, but we limit ourselves. And unfortunately, most women limit themselves by their beauty, by their physical outlook. They are always about, how do I look like? Am I too old? Am I too young? Am I beautiful? Am I not beautiful? And they use that as a standard to block their own progress in life. But I want to ask to understand, just like you said earlier, all these are mental barriers. They are all in the mindset. If you can release yourself from a mindset that because I'm this, because I came from this kind of a family, because I started to this level, I cannot be able to go further than this. If you can set yourself free from that kind of a mindset, you can discover that you are not as ordinary as you think that you are.
Wow. I like that. I love the explanation. And maybe before we come into the conclusion of this segment, how is one able to curb these insecurities? Because majorly, whatever people have been suffering from, maybe from the research that have been done, the issue of comparison, that you compare yourself, maybe in the social media, you know, now everything is digital, everything is about the social media. You look at things that are done, and you're comparing yourself with whatever you are seeing in social media, and looking at the lives of maybe those that you schooled with. You see their post there, and you're kind of thinking of, I think I wasn't created for the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what are some of the advices you can tell these people to maybe curb the sort of insecurity that maybe even others grew with because they used to be diminished?
Let me warn you people first that, let me warn you women, that what you see on social media is a make-believe world. It's a make-believe world. Somebody will post next to someone's car and post that photo, and you're like, oh, people have progressed. I'm the one who's behind. Let me start by saying that if you want to change all that insecurity and everything, you have to work on your inner person. It is not working more on your nails, on your hair, on your outlook. Because I have seen so many people who look smart on the outside, but they are still depressed. Why are they depressed? Because they haven't found true meaning to their lives, and they are not living. They're not living any purpose under the sun. And if you ask them, what is the meaning of your life, or what is your identity, they don't know anything of that kind. And so most people are depressed despite wearing the makeup and having everything looking so perfect. So what am I saying? Work on your inner person, because the true person is not the one we see on the outside. Do you know that everything that you see and who you are comes from within you?
Wow.
You understand that?
Yeah.
So when you start working on your inner person, you realize that you need a diet for your inner person. First and foremost, accept who you are. Accept who you are. Be proud of your history. Don't keep telling people, I am this way because my mother was a single mother and she never managed to take us to school, and because our dad left. We always explain why we are the way we are without realizing that it is not time to explain. It is time to work out something to make our lives much better. So don't keep crying about the past. Don't keep talking about your past. Start thinking about your future. That's number one. Number two, don't compare yourself to people, because when you keep comparing yourself to other people, you're stealing your own joy, and you are wasting your time that you could be using to make a progress in your own life. So you start feeding your inner person with positive energy through the kind of words that you speak to yourself, through the kind of diet that you feed your inner man. Affirm yourself. I can make something out of my life despite the fact that I'm a house help. I can make something of my life despite the fact that I came from a disadvantaged background. Also have mentors. Look up to people who have made it in life. They are there, my friends. They are there, women. They are there. People who can tell you, I have no education, but I own this business. And you ask them, how did you go about this? And you realize that they started by believing they could do something small, and it continue to progress, because I told you the muscles that are exercised. God has a way of making it a progress. Let me tell you something. A seed can never grow if it is not planted. So work on your inner self. Work on your self-esteem from within.
Wow.
Then you can be able to progress and to go for your life.
Wow. I love the last part, that work on your inner self from within. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you so much for tuning in into Queen's Talk Show, and thank you so much, our guest, for visiting us today, and for having kind words that maybe women need to know. Then that didn't realize the same, that you should start seeing your beauty from within, because this is where it all starts. And I would like to echo the point that you said, that when you find yourself with all these things that have been mentioned, the end product of all these things is depression or mental health illness. And you know what, we have a segment coming up after the break that we shall be explaining how you realize about the mental health illness. We shall create awareness of the same. So don't go far. Just keep it here at Daesak TV, the Queen's Talk Show, and don't forget to follow us on our social media handles, that is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you. Keep it here at Daesak. So much for keeping it here at Daesak TV. And just as I've explained to you, that on the third segment we have an expert who shall be taking us through self-care and creating awareness on mental health. Now the guest is right here with us, but before we go there, I would like to remind you something. First of all, follow us kindly on our social media handles, that is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And we shall be glad when you text us below using the number that is at the bottom of your screen. And kindly, we would appreciate to get to know where you're watching us from and who are you and how is the show, and also ask any question that you'd like us explain to you or the expert explain to you. Thank you so much for keeping it here at Daesak. Let me now remind you of one thing that we have for you, and Lotto is giving you an opportunity to be the winner. Now this is it. Help us celebrate 7 years of changing lives by changing yours with 700,000 Kenya shillings and a guaranteed bonus in each draw. Now there is 2,400,000 to be won at 10 a.m. draw, and another guaranteed 700,000 to 7 people. You know what? The only thing you need to be, or you need to have to be the lucky winner of 2,400,000 is not 100, is not 80, Bob. Okay, it's not even more than 60. It is below that. It is only 50 Kenya shillings. Now take your phone, get it, go to your M-Pesa, go to Lipa na M-Pesa, then click pay bill number, put 777 and account number put D.TV in caps. Be among the lucky winners. Then amount put 50 bob only that. Then send. Don't forget, you can put all these things and forget to send. Don't forget to send. Kindly let us help us celebrate by enabling us celebrate you too. This is Daesak TV, the Queen's Talk Show. And now in the studio, I have a very amazing and beautiful woman. I want to give you this chance. First of all, welcome so much to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
And this is Daesak.
Thank
Our viewers are so eager to hear from you. Yeah, kindly feel free, feel welcome. And take this opportunity and tell us who you are. Tell our viewer who you are.
Thanks so much. Thanks a lot, Veronica, for invitation. I'm humbled.
Yeah.
I'm Juria Mogo. I'm a nurse working in Mulanga, Level 5, in pediatric ward. And I'm also a student at Mount Kenya University doing counseling psychology. Today we are going to talk about self-care, and I'm sure we are all going to run together because life is all about running. So we are going to ask ourselves, what is self-care? And then we have different types of self-care. Then we are going to see how can you develop a self-care at a personal level. So number one, we are going to start what is self-care, because many people don't know what is self-care. What does it mean to have a self-care? Self-care means it is
Before you go there, allow me to cut you short. Before you came, we had a guest, and she was taking us through one thing that very many people have been suffering from, that is insecurity. They have been suffering from insecurity, and one of the things that the guests have explained to us is insecurity of, there are very many people who've been thinking of they are not good enough. Others are adding their height because they think they are not tall enough. Others want to be reduced because they think I am so tall. Others think that, I am so black, and today is like, unajua watu vile wanasema form. They are kind of saying, I have to be brown to look attractive. I want to be beautiful, and they think beauty is that skin. So kindly, before we go into self-care, because all this is leading us there, we've left it at a point of, there are these people, they know, okay, an awareness has been created of knowing that this is sort of insecurity.
Yes.
Kindly tell us, how is one able to curb this sort of insecurity? Maybe others agree with that. This is the way they were raised up, thinking of, my mother loves this one, but as for me, I don't think she loves me. Or my dad maybe pays school fees for this. They even took my brother to a boarding school and was taken to a day school. Kindly, before we go into this, advise that one person.
Okay, there are these people who have a lot of insecurity, maybe in their work, in the place of work, in their family, even in the community itself. You have that, you are so insecure that you are not able even to cope. You need to have self-awareness. Number one, you need to have self-awareness. You know who you are, what are your likes and your dislikes. You know your strength, you know your weaknesses, to know the opportunities that are on your way coming, and then you also need to know what threatens you, for you to have that self-awareness, and for you to be able to cope up with insecurity. Now, after having self-awareness, you need to have something that is known as self-acceptance. You accept who you are, because we are all differently talented. So the moment you know who you are, you'll be able to accept yourself. Now, after accepting yourself, you'll be able to put breathe free in the Lord. So me, I'm so and so. This is who I am. Despite what others are thinking, despite what the environment is talking, I am this. Now you need to maintain that focus. This is me. I'm not this, I'm not this, this is me. And now I have to be focused as I'm moving forward. Yes.
Kindly, there is this one thing that to myself, it's kind of a challenge to almost all women in particular, because kindly put it clear to us, where does it all start? Because this one thing I'm talking of is, must you be told that you are beautiful to know that you are beautiful? Or where does all these things start? By you yourself knowing it, or from another person? Because maybe assuming you are my mother, and I grew up and you are telling me that I look this and this and this, and I'm not like so and so. And so this tells me that I'm not beautiful. So where does it all start? From others or from you?
Mostly, when a child is being born, they don't know how they look like. They come to know when they look like when people tell them, you don't look beautiful, you are not like so and so, you are not, your hair doesn't look so and so, look at your eyes. You know the things that you hear create a picture, a mental picture in you. So start asking myself, why am I not like so and so? And many times people are not able to get out of that because they stick it in their mind. So what you hear from home, the way your parent or siblings are talking to you, it grows up in you. So you are not able to view yourself like me, I'm Julia. So I rely on what others are telling me. And then number two, people don't have that, are not able to have that inner talk with themselves. Me, I'm Julia. I know I'm beautiful. I may not be like you, but I am beautiful. I have my unique beauty. I am beautiful in my own uniqueness. You know, we are all beautiful in our own ways. And even the Word of God tells us so. Because being a Christian, I read the Bible, it tells us we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So you don't have to sit there and wait for others to tell you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The moment you read that, the Word of God is telling me I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Now I have to work on that beauty. I have to portray it to the world. Let the world see that I'm beautiful. I may not be brown skinned.
You start seeing it.
Yes, I start seeing it myself. I may not be brown skinned, but I'm beautiful. I may not be having long hairs, but I'm beautiful. So the moment you see that, the moment you start telling yourself I'm beautiful, now you'll be able to cultivate this and you'll be able to work on it. Yes.
Wow. I believe all this takes us to knowing how to care for ourselves, self-care, as we had mentioned earlier. Kindly take us through now, what is this self-care and how are you supposed to care for yourself?
Self-care, let's say, so the moment you know who you are, now you are moving towards that. You want to be secure. You want to feel this is who I am. You need to develop self-care. Now we are going to ask ourselves, what is self-care? Self-care means it is something that is conscious. It is like an action which is conscious, and you are keeping it physically, mentally, and even emotionally. You have it. Physically, I'm taking care of my physical being. I'm taking care of my mental being. I'm also taking care of my emotional being. For me to be able to stand.
Can we say that a person now maybe is divided into this?
Yes.
Physical,
emotional, and psychological.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is when you say it is conscious, you are already aware of it. I'm doing this because I want to keep myself in this area. Yes, that is what we call self-care. Yes.
Are there types of self-care maybe?
Yeah, there are 5 types of self-care. And we are going to look at them. Number 1, it is about self-care. You have said it, you are physical, what we can see, mental, the state of mind, what you think. Then you have emotional. Emotional, it's like feelings. Yes, it is like you are 3. Yes. When you talk about physical care, this is how you care of your physical, what people can see. I'll take a bath because I'm taking care of myself. That is a self-care. And when you are talking about self-care, it is the way you are fueling your body, the diet you are eating. Are you taking enough water? Are you hydrating yourself? Are you doing some exercises? You see, there are those people who are big and they want to lose some weight, or you are slender and you want to get some weight. You want to add some weight. So are you nourishing yourself well? Are you taking physical exercise? Maybe you have a health issue that people can see. Are you going for medical for appointment, scheduled appointment? Are you taking the prescribed treatment as prescribed? You know, sometimes you may be aware of yourself. Illness can cause insecurity. And then this treatment has been prescribed to you. Are you taking the treatment as prescribed to be able to maintain your physical self-care? Are you able to manage your health? Maybe diet-wise, the way you are doing your things. That is physically. Physical is what people can see. Am I able to manage my physical being? Yes, that is the physical self-care. When you talk about the social self-care, number 2, about self-care, social is the way you interact and you relate with other people. Are you able to keep good relations with your spouse if you are married? Is your relationship sick or unhealthy? Are you able to maintain a good relationship with your children, with your colleagues at workplace, in the community at general? You know, there are some people, yes, they know who they are. They know that I have insecurity, but you not be able to maintain that social self-care. They just have this slogan, I don't care or I care less. That slogan means that you are stressed somewhere and you have to work on it because you are spoiling your social self-care. So you have to work on yourself. You have to care after all.
So do you mean that it is not right to say that I care less?
No, that is right. That is wrong. Okay. Because you have to care. Yes, you have to care.
I too have realized this because sometimes back I used to say it, okay, nowadays it's not that much, but I didn't really know the meaning of that. I just thought it's
a slogan.
Yeah, it's just a slogan. Yeah, but thank you for that.
Yeah, you have to care. After all, if you want to be well, if you have to be secure, you have to care. Care of what others are saying, but don't let it penetrate in your brain and decide and determine where you are going. But you have to care. When people are saying that I'm not a good friend, I'm not able to keep secrets, I have to care. What is wrong with me? It means I'm not confident. You cannot confide in me. So you have to care. Am I good at workplace? You have to care. If your colleagues are complaining at you in your workplace, there's something wrong in you. So you have to care. It means I'm not taking good care of my social life. I have to be good in social self-care.
So this is also an indicator that something within me is
wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah, and most of the people, they say, I'm not stressed. But if you try to dig, I have come across some people who say, I'm not stressed. Do you have something that is I don't have anything that is stressing me. But the moment you try to maybe spend some 2 or 5 minutes with that person, you see them crying. No, there's something here. Yes, there's something here.
Yeah, because I tend to think that crying is more of something within.
Yes.
Because this is trying to communicate something.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. I hope my viewers you're getting to learn, because I'm also learning enough. And right now I've learned of 2 things. That there is the physical self-care, and also there is the social care. Wow. This is the Queen's Talk Show. Kindly take us through.
Then we have another care, that is mental self-care. Mental self-care means you are taking care of your mental being, of your mind. You know, despite being that you are done with school life, you know, you keep on running. Like now you are running new things. We run day by day. You have to take something that is challenging you, but challenging in a positive way. Like you can get maybe a gazette, look at the puzzle words, maybe you can read a story and then try to think, what am I getting at the end of this? So you are taking care of your emotion, of your mental being. Something that is challenging you mentally. Because the moment you stay like that, you don't want to think, you become like a cabbage. So it is also good when your kids come from home.
Cabbage doesn't...
When children come from school, look at the assignment, look at their look at those mathematics that are challenging you, those division. You feel challenged, but in a positive way.
Is this the reason as to why many people decide, I'm not even going to take a shower?
Yes, because they have a problem. They are not able to take care of their physical being. They don't care about their physical being. That is number one.
Someone said, I'm not willing to take a shower today because I feel I'm clean. I just took a shower yesterday. So, few hours.
Number one, you are neglecting your physical self-care. You are not going to take a shower. So you are neglecting your physical self-care. Number two, you are also neglecting the social self-care of others. You are sweating, and you are staying in a place with people, and you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it is also deals with mental. So I'm neglecting my physical, I'm neglecting the social care of others. Now it is about my mental. I don't care or I care less. I will not shower. After all, ni yoga jana. Yes.
Wow, allow me to cut you short. I'm really enjoying this show. I hope you too are enjoying the show. Please remember to text us and tell us how you're getting this show. Is it nice, or what would you like us to do for you, or any question that you have, kindly feel free to ask. You're watching Queen's Talk Show here at Daesak TV. We are going to a very short commercial break and we shall be right back. Please keep it here. Thank you so much for keeping here at Daesak TV, the Queen's Talk Show. You're with me, Veronica Kigomo. I hope you are enjoying the show. Now, thank you so much. We have a very amazing guest, a nurse in particular, and she was taking us through types of self-care. What have you learned in physical self-care and also in social self-care? She's also going to continue with the same, but do you have any question concerning whatever she's just been taught? Kindly feel free to ask us. Follow us still on our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And on the number that is running there at the bottom of your screen, kindly remember to send in your comment where you're watching us from. Thank you so much. Kindly take us through. I remember you've just told us about mental. That is where we were.
Okay, you have talked about physical, number one, social and mental. Now we are going to we are going to talk about spiritual self-care. When we mean spiritual, we are talking about it is about religion, your inner being. And I'm sure most of the largest percentage of people are either Christians, Muslims, and we are concerned about our inner being. When you're talking about spiritual self-care, are you able to meditate? If you read a Bible, are you meditating about the Word of God? If you are reading a Quran, is it reading you in your day-to-day lives? So you have to be concerned about your spiritual self-care. For you to be secure, you have to know, who am I? What is my position in a Christian life? What's my position in my Islamic life? As a Muslim, am I following the Muslim doctrines? Am I following the Christian doctrines? That is, by so doing, you are taking care of your spiritual self-care. Yes.
Wow. Is there any other type of
Yes, there is another type of care. The last one is emotional self-care. Emotional self-care is healthy coping skills to deal with uncomfortable emotions like anger, anxiety, and sadness. You know, sometimes we are in this life is very unpredictable, and sometimes we get anxiety, we get angry because we are human beings, we get sad. And when you have emotional self-care, how are you able to adapt? How are you able to cope? You face a situation that is making you to be sad. How are you going to cope? For example, if you are married, your spouse tells you something and you feel sad. Are you going to pack and leave? How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to take care of your emotions to stay in that marriage? Because you cannot just pack your luggage and go, because he has not brought chocolate for that day. So you have to take care of emotional self-care. By so doing, you are able to acknowledge and you are able to express your feelings regularly in a safe way. And then for you to know that, you have to set aside time for leisure. Don't about work without play makes Jack a dull boy. You know, most for us women, you wake up in the morning, you prepare breakfast, you go to work, you go to shopping, you go back to the house, you prepare. You don't have time for yourself. Despite you don't have money to go in those big places, you can create time for yourself. You can go somewhere, just sit, relax, just start thinking of your good moments. Yes, let that the inner girl. No, despite growing big and old, there's that kind of girl in you. Let that kind of girl explore. If you feel like jumping, just jump. If you feel like skipping with a loop. Just do it. By so doing, you are taking care of your emotion. You are not going to be overloaded with so many emotions. Yes.
Wow. Now, is it possible to be in all these things, to find that you have challenges in physical self-care, in emotional self-care, and also social self-care? Is it possible for one to be in all these things or in all these challenges?
Yes, it is very possible. And that is the reason you see quite a good number of ladies, they live double lives. They live like you are living this today, tomorrow you are living like this. Because you don't know how to take care of yourself, of your physical being, you start seeing yourself, you are using a lot of makeup to an extent, some of them are harmful to yourself. You are not able to take care of your emotional being. You are sad, you are angry, you are anxious. Instead of being able to take care of yourself, you engage yourself in drugs. Maybe you're not able to take care of your social life. You start having so many friends, and you start having friends who are not helping you. And that's the reason you see some ladies are having friends with benefit. I don't know whether you have heard that, friends with the benefit.
Yeah.
You're having so many friends, social friends, to an extent you're engaging in them in sexual affairs to relieve yourself.
Yeah.
Because you want to feel that I'm relieved, but you're not able to take care of your social life. So you go to an extent of going beyond boundaries with your social life. You're not able to take care of yourself. Then there are those people, they are not able to take care of their spiritual life. So they go to an extent of spiritualizing spiritualizing everything.
Yeah.
This is a sin, this is a sin, this is everything. Even in the workplace, this is a sin, this is a sin. They are not able to stand. So it is possible to be having all challenges with self-care. You can see a person comes to work late, is unkept, sees everything is a demon, doesn't take care of the family. Such things, they are possible. And one of them leads to another. If you're not able to take care of your physical being, you are affecting the social self-care of others.
So all these things, for you to be able to curb it, maybe you ought to know the causes or the root cause of all these things. What are some of the causes that cause maybe this disorder?
Number one, you have mental issues. Maybe there's something that happened to you in your childhood. And what that thing brought insecurity in you. So when you have that insecurity, you are not able to take care of yourself. You don't have self-care. Number two, there are those people who have other related health issues. Like for instance, people with cancer. They see themselves, after all, I'm going to die. So they neglect everything. They don't care even their health. They don't care about their social life. They care less. Another thing, I think it is even the inner attitude. It can also cause. You are married. Maybe you have an issue with your spouse or your husband. So you see everything like it is vanity of vanity. Yes. So when you have that, you are not able to take care of yourself. You neglect your children. You neglect everything. And then when children are growing up, you neglected them. So you never gave them the self-care they needed. So when they grow up, they will not be able to take care of themselves. So they have a deficiency in taking care of themselves. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And maybe the second segment of this, we shall get to know more about, because I believe mental health is so wide. It's broad. I believe you shall get another chance to visit us and also explain to our viewers, maybe I know you've been left hanging, maybe you would want to know more about these causes and the root cause of all these things and how to curb all these things. We got you covered because next Tuesday is coming and we shall cover in matters health, and she's here. I believe you shall be willing to come back again.
More than willing.
Wow. Just hear the response. I'm so glad that you came, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much our viewers for keeping here at Daesak TV. Remember, this is the Queen's Talk Show, the realest show that we bring to you here at Daesak. But before we go before we conclude, I would love to remind you of Lotto. But before I remind you of this, please let us go to a very short commercial break, and we shall be right back in 1 minute's time. Please don't go far. Watching Queen's Talk Show, I really appreciate your effort. And you know what? we have to go far, because Queen's Talk Show is not just a show, but Queen's Talk give you updates, or it creates an awareness on matters. Women, you know that women are the pride of the society, and a successful woman is the pride of the society. We got you covered. Thank you so much for watching Daesak TV. Before I conclude, let me remind you of Lotto, because I really care about you and I want you to be among the lucky winners. Just as Ed told you, I want you to help us celebrate 7 years of changing lives by changing yours with 700,000 Kenya shillings guaranteed bonus in each draw, because there is 2,400,000 to be won at 10 a.m. Draw and another guaranteed 700,000 to 7 people, and the only amount you need to be among the lucky winner is only 50 Kenya shillings, and you just need to go to your M-Pesa, take your phone, 50 bob. In as much as you don't have it, kindly get somebody that can get 50 bob only. Go to your M-Pesa, leap an M-Pesa, click their paybill number, just put 777-000 and account number put D.TV and their link ups. Kindly don't forget to send in. Remember, tomorrow we have a draw. Be among the lucky winners, and I really appreciate if you shall be among the lucky winners, and I get to hear that, I really watch Queen's Talk Show. This will be my pleasure. Thank you so much. This is the Queen's Talk Show with me, Veronica Kigomo. Let's meet tomorrow the same time, the same place, Daesak TV. Thank you.